And again, folks, welcome to another tropical update from Cayman Hurricane Center. And again, folks, this update we will be discussing about our other systems in the Atlantic that we are closely monitoring. Uh, again, we've already discussed our Hurricane Helene. We've discussed our Tropical Storm Isaac, which is expected to become a hurricane. This update here, we'll discuss 98L on pretty close to becoming a tropical depression, likely to become tropical depression number 10. And then, folks, we are expecting this to go on to develop into Joyce. Tropical Storm Joyce, and then there is a possibility here that this could also become a hurricane. So we'll be discussing that as well as another system that's starting to pick up here for the Caribbean. And again, we're going to be needing to watch once again for the Western Caribbean. So we're going to mention that as well. We do have a few other systems over the Eastern Atlantic and over Africa that we do need to monitor. So with that, here's a large map here, and just to mark off here. So again, this is our major hurricane Helene. Again, we've done the update on that. We'll have some further updates later this evening with Helene here. We have our Isaac up here. Again, we've done the update for that. Again, please go watch the video for that. Again, this is our system 98L. Again, not far away from becoming tropical depression number 10, eventually onwards to tropical storm tropical storm Joyce. And then again, the chances there for that to become a hurricane. And again, this is our other system that we're monitoring in the Eastern Caribbean, something that we'll be needing to monitor for the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. We'll note that here in this video. And again, we have more systems just off of Africa here. And again, a few more over Western Africa that we will make mention of. So getting to it, first and foremost to our system 98L. Again, this system is organizing fairly well. We could certainly see where we do have some of a fairly good circulation developing here, indicating that, again, this system is becoming organized and, again, on its way to becoming a tropical depression. Convective thunderstorm activity occurring over the core of the system. It does appear, based on some recent satellite wind data, that we're not quite there yet. We do have a closed circulation, but it does appear to be a little bit on the raggedy side here. It's not as well defined yet to officially designate this as depression. But again, we're not long away from that. Get a bit more of this convective thunderstorm activity to sort of build and wrap into that core. And then there we go, folks. We will have ourselves tropical depression number 11, eventually to develop into tropical storm Joyce. And again, the possibility there of getting into becoming a hurricane, possibly. Again, just running the figures here on the depression, or rather on 98L, and what we're likely looking at here for the track. Again, around about 15.3, 73, or 37.3, getting a bit ahead of myself there. Again, roughly about 948 miles west of the Cape Verde Islands. Winds are about 30, pressure 1,008 millibars. Now, as we could see here in the forecast guidance, generally a west to west northwesterly track here, and then eventually we are expecting the systems to sort of stall a little bit around this vicinity, and then we're looking more than likely that the system would then turn generally north or northeast over the northern or northwestern portions of the main development region, getting into the central subtropical Atlantic. So again, with that being said, we're not expecting any continental U.S. impacts as a result of that. We may not see Caribbean impacts, though we do see some of the ensemble guidance suggesting that the system gets into this area. Again, it is in the minority at this point in time, but it is something we're going to be watching closely for the Caribbean. And of course, obviously, no impacts there to Bermuda. Maybe some impacts there to the Azores Islands eventually, but again, this is what we're looking at for 98L. So that's our system there that we're monitoring. And again, very well on its way to becoming a depression. National Hurricane Center giving a high chance of that. Again, the likelihood of advisories beginning some point later this evening, tonight, or in the very early hours of tomorrow. Now, getting on to our other system, again, our system in the eastern Caribbean here, folks. So we're closely monitoring this as we go forward here, folks. So again, just looking here, we could definitely see that there does appear to be some curvature, some organization with this here, and we're closely watching this as we go forwards here, folks. Again, a tropical wave that's generally in this vicinity here. We could see the overall curvature developing with this wave here. And this one will get into the Caribbean and develop a little bit further here as we go towards the west. Now, very interesting situation that we're looking at getting into the Caribbean here. And it's essentially, let me just pause this here and show you what we're thinking here for this system. And so what we're thinking is that, again, this tropical wave, as it goes through the Caribbean, it'll continue generally westbound. And what we're thinking is that the axis of the wave is going to change. Again, we still have our broad CAG, our Central American Gyre, broad area of low pressure within this vicinity here. Again, as our Helene moves north and out the way, the environment becomes a little bit more favorable. And with our wave, what will happen is that as it gets further and further towards the west, what we're looking at is the wave changing its axis from, again, northeast to southwest to north to south, eventually getting more northwest to southeast, west northwest to east southeast. And again, with that, and again, along with the overall movement of the winds here, we're expecting that a low pressure area circulation may develop in the Western Caribbean, somewhere within this vicinity here. And again, the overall pattern is for this to move generally northwest across the Caribbean. And so, Chris, we're going to need to watch here for Jamaica, for the Cayman Islands, for portions of northeastern Nicaragua, northeastern Honduras once again. And again, we're going to be needing to watch for Cuba, western Cuba, and the Yucatan Peninsula as well, as eventually this will be getting into the area. Exactly how much this will develop is uncertain, but regardless of development, we are going to be expecting an increase of showers and thunderstorms once again for the Western Caribbean. Certainly not what's needed after the significant amount of rainfall produced by Helene as it was moving across the Western Caribbean. So folks in these areas will be needing to closely monitor the progress of this as we go forwards. Folks, that is the update here. Again, we do have the other systems that we're watching in the Eastern Atlantic. We've got a lot of time to watch for those. Eventually, those will track west, generally across the main development region. We'll have some further updates on that as we go further in time. That's the update for Cape and Hurricane Center. We'll have more later on this evening.